The drama began to unfold on September 21st, 2004, where a 22-year-old college student named Rebekah Gould went missing in a small town in Izard County, Arkansas. Rebekah's mother would alert authorities requesting a welfare check at her boyfriend's trailer home. When police arrived at the residence, they would discover a blood-soaked mattress, bedding, and a botched attempt to clean the crime scene. Gas chromatography and infrared spectroscopy revealed that bleach had been used to remove and destroy evidence. On September 27th, Rebekah's lifeless body was found, laying alongside Highway 9 south of Melbourne, with no attempt to bury nor hide the body. The extent of Rebekah's injury and damage to her skeletal structure shows two separate attacks, one to the nose and one to the side of her head, while no signs of sexual assault seemed present. There were also no visible defensive wounds located on Rebekah's body, which indicated that Rebekah could have possibly been sleeping or simply not paying attention to the attacker. Upon searching for other forensic evidence, in hindsight, the information on whether the discovered fingerprints and DNA had already been archived inside the CODIS is still unknown. Upon discovering the body, police would utilize forensic entomology, a technique that analyzes the insects on or surrounding the body in order to hypothesize a time frame depending on the stage of decomposition. It was determined that Rebekah had been deceased for approximately a week. With this new information in mind, police began to search for a possible suspect, questioning friends and family members of Rebekah. But after a year of investigation, police would have no other leads, and the case would eventually go cold. It wasn't until 16 years later, a Facebook group was created and dedicated into finding Rebekah's killer. The owners, Jared and Bulch, would receive a message from a man named William Miller, the cousin of Rebekah's ex-boyfriend at the time, Casey. They would note that the information William provided them was far too specific, with certain details only the killer would know. Catherine Townsend, the creator of Hell and Gone podcast, would also revisit Rebekah's case, traveling to Arkansas, questioning friends and family members face to face. Based off of this newly discovered lead, police then shifted their attention to William and began building their case. 2 months later, police would request to speak with William under the guise of a cordial and friendly conversation, unknowing that police had gathered forensic evidence against him, finding Rebekah's blood in the floorboards and next to the gas pedal of his car. William would then willingly agree to sit down and speak with detectives on the matter. In the beginning of William's interrogation, William is greeted by Special Agent Mike McNeil, a highly seasoned investigator in which we will soon observe why he was assigned this very case. Detective McNeil starts off with a much different approach, however, as he does not Mirandize the suspect. In hindsight, this would later be brought to the court's attention in an attempt to dismiss this very footage. Judge Tim Weaver would not only deem this footage admissible, but also use the polygraph test that we will soon witness. It's also important to note that police already have evidence to arrest and detain William at this point, but maintains a cordial conversation under the presumption that they have no information about William nor his connection to the case.
Alright, Billy, if you want to have a seat right there.
Yes, sir.
You can take that mask off if you want to. I'll sit over here and we'll try to stay 6 feet apart and
Sure.
and that kind of thing. So how's it going?
It's going all right.
Yeah?
Just finally, we moved down here.
Right.
Came back to the station, all that stuff. Came over here and.
So are you back now for good?
No, I still work back and forth and all that stuff.
Okay.
Usually, due to the Corona stuff, we've had issues of me getting home in the Philippines.
Right.
So that's where I do live and stuff.
Right.
Most of the time, I go there and do 2 years, and then I come back over here for like 9 days to do a health check.
Okay.
And then, but due to the Corona,
Gotcha.
this is my second trip back
Okay.
over here. And then we just bought a place
Okay.
in Cottage.
Well, cool. Well, first off, let me tell you, this is called a non-custodial interview, okay? You probably never heard of such a thing, but what that means is you came up here voluntarily, you're not being detained, you're free to go at any time, that door is not locked. I'm not advising you of your Miranda rights or none of that kind of stuff, okay? So this is a non-custodial interview, and I just want you to know that I really appreciate you coming up, and you know, I came all the way from Arkansas.
We will observe yet another pivotal segment early into this interrogation, as the detective asks William his thoughts about taking a polygraph test in the near future. Even though some states prohibit the use of a polygraph test being used during trial, Arkansas is not one of those states, and will use a polygraph to further prove guilt. William will also find out that the polygraph test may come sooner than he anticipated.
All that stuff.
Yeah.
And then over there, it's like you don't get on the computer and stuff. You go into a room and you give them a name and a date and all that stuff, and they bring out books and books and start looking through and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah. Like I was talking before about polygraphs, you know, all of the McCulloughs have been polygraphed. A number of other people have been, you know. That's a tool that we like to use to, you know, it kind of gives us a pretty good indication of
If somebody's lying or telling the truth and all that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, would you be okay with taking a polygraph? I'll just ask you.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it.
You don't have a problem?
Yeah, you want me to go to Arkansas and take one?
No,
Yeah.
I tell you what, let me holler. I'll call the sergeant up here to see. They may have a polygrapher in town. You know, it's a shot in the dark, but
So what other questions you were going to ask me and all that
well,
stuff?
let me see if they got somebody, because I still have a lot more questions for you, but hang on a minute here. Let's let it shot. Hey, Sarge, it's McNeil. Hey, do you happen to have a polygrapher in town? Do you know, do you have somebody available that could do a polygraph if we needed one? Oh, okay, thanks. He's going to look into it.
Unbeknownst to William, police has a highly decorated polygrapher who will soon enter the scene and aid the investigation even further. We observe William attempt to change the subject, but his attempt is futile, as the polygrapher will arrive in the next 20 minutes. For now, William continues to detail his communication with the family, revealing that he offered help to acquire legal aid. The test is administered twice, and in conclusion, William did not do as well as he expected. He will now learn his results.
How do you think you did?
I don't know. I think it's okay.
Yeah. So the results on the exam were deception indicated, right? So as to the questions of did you know,
What do you mean by that?
cause you fail the test?
I have the test.
Yes. And so,
My heartbeat felt like it was just beating out of my chest.
yeah. And so what that tells me is that, there's a couple things this tells me, right? It tells me that doesn't tell me that you're a bad man. It just tells me that, hey, when you answer that question, you're not telling the complete truth, all right? So Mike has other information, right, he wants to share with you, right? And so he has a better understanding of the case than I do, right? And he's prepared to talk to you about those things.
Yeah,
So
sure.
can I get you some water,
No,
or
I'm good.
are you sure?
No, sure.
Some cookies, or?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I just want to know if my mom's all right. No,
She's
that's
okay. I'm gonna go check on her.
No,
You want me to
any
go check on her?
diabetes and all that stuff.
She's doing good.
Yeah.
Detective McNeil enters the room on cue, with the slightest mention of his name. The two then swap seats, but this time, Detective McNeil is much more direct and confrontational. William is now aware that he has failed a polygraph test and will now be confronted about his results. Detective McNeil will now begin to share the forensic evidence police has collected against him.
All right, Billy. So, information that I have not provided you. You know, we've talked about your DNA being at the crime scene, and you've tried to give an explanation as to why your DNA would be at the crime scene, because your mom gave Claude furniture.
They gave furniture and all that stuff.
And bedding, and you even said that it would be reasonable for your DNA to be on the bedding, which is absolutely absurd.
No, I didn't say that.
Okay.
I just said that Mom gave furniture and all that stuff.
Okay, all right. This is a washcloth that was under the bed that the killer used to clean up. It was wadded up in a ball, okay? We've got the killer's DNA on that washcloth, okay? Would there be any reason for your DNA to be on that washcloth? It shouldn't be.
Shouldn't be on there.
That's right, it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
That truck look familiar?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's your truck.
Yep.
Okay? Biological evidence, Billy, lasts for decades. Blood, skin cells, all kinds of stuff.
Okay.
All right? That was a really bloody crime scene. What happened, you got blood on the side of your shoe. We got Rebekah's DNA next to the gas pedal in your truck. No question about it. Her DNA's in your truck. So what you have to do is you have to explain to me how that's possible. If you didn't kill her, you know who did. And if you know who did, if you're covering for Casey, dude, I'm telling you, you have got to come forward right now with what you know, because you cannot get around biological evidence in the floorboard of your truck. Okay? So tell me what happened, Billy. Tell me.
I did not kill her.
Who did? Who did?
I don't know who the people are.
All right. How were you involved in this thing? So your truck was at the trailer.
My truck was far away in the back of the property and stuff. Then I was driving out to go home and sit there.
Listen, Billy, listen, man, it's okay. It's okay. All right? What you're saying, is absolutely ridiculous. Okay? We know what you did. We know how it went down. We've got her blood in your floorboard. You tried to clean up best that you could, Billy. Don't drag your mom through this anymore. Don't drag your brother through this anymore. Give the family some peace. It was a freak deal, man. You did not mean to kill her. I know that, but it happened. Okay? It just happened. That doesn't make you a bad guy. You just fucking freaked out, man. It happens. I talk to people all the time that do this kind of stuff. It's okay. It happens. It should have never happened, but it did. Okay? So tell me, Billy, just tell me. Tell me what you did, how it happened.
Can I speak to my mom outside? You can look at me, man. I'm not going to run off or anything.
Listen, let me do this. Let me bring your mom in here, and let's talk to her together, if that's what you want to do.
I want to talk to her outside. Outside, and I promise to come back in here and tell you whatever you want.
The detective notices the shift in William's demeanor and decides to take him up on his offer. He will allow William to speak to his family members in exchange for a confession. This part is intriguingly noteworthy, as this shows the symbiotic relationship police and suspects both share momentarily in order to come to a mutual agreement.
Mrs. Miller, friends right there, Jeremy.
I love you.
I'm glad that you are doing what you need to do. No, I love you. You take care of yourself, and I'll take care of your kids.
Okay, Mama.
All right, I love you.
I'm feeling really sorry. You gonna write me? You better. I love you, dude. I love you, dude. Give me a big ass hug, dude. He's big. Give me a real fucking hug. I'm sorry, I love you, dude. I love you. I'm sorry. It's okay. No matter what, I love you, dude. Love you. Okay.
Dealing with trying to take my life was a part of these issues.
Why don't you tell us, man?
Couldn't tell you. I'm sorry I played you as a fool. Both of you.
Billy. It's understandable. You're still my brother. If you've done wrong or right.
We still love you.
We still love you.
I'm sorry for the pain that I caused on you, Jeremy, and that I caused on you, Mom.
It's okay.
I'm truly sorry.
We're still gonna be there, Billy.
We'll still be there for you.
Your blood, no matter what. I'm gonna keep our
We'll be there.
promises.
We'll be there for you,
I've done
too.
wrong.
And we
Just
understand.
please be there for my kids.
I
That's the
am.
biggest thing for me.
I am, Billy. We will.
Be a part of Billy's life.
I'm
I will take care of your kids.
And the passport, their passports, they're in that black bag, the gray bag with my medicine. What is your medicine?
I love you, dude.
Do you need us to bring that?
Do you need anything?
No, he doesn't need anything right now.
Okay.
No. Unless you're gonna have.
We're gonna try to get him in front of a judge Monday,
Okay.
and he'll tell the judge whether he wants to fight extradition or waive extradition. He's telling us that he's gonna waive extradition and allow us to transport him back to Arkansas, okay?
Okay.
That will probably not happen immediately. If he waives extradition on Monday, it might be another week, it might be another 2 weeks before we can get him back to Arkansas, but it will happen relatively quickly.
Okay.
And if you have any questions for me, you have my phone number, shoot me a text message or whatever.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the pain that I caused you, as well.
Look at me. Alright. It's alright, dude. I love you. Look at me. I love you.
Love you both.
I love you. Look at me. Quit looking down, dude. Quit looking down. Look up.
I love you. Go home. Get some sleep with her. I know you won't sleep.
I love you.
Alright, I love you, dude. Keep an eye on, keep an eye on Mom, alright, bud? I love you, dude. Please keep an eye on Mom. I love you. I love you. I love you, dude. Thank you.
Yep. See.
Do you want to read? I don't want to have nothing to hide from you.
No, that's fine, go ahead.
After William is allowed to say his goodbyes, Damien Acosta re-enters the room and decides to take a shot in the dark with his next assertion. Damien uses empathy and even makes physical contact with William while trying to coax another confession.
Right? This isn't one of those things, right? This isn't something where, you know, there's a mass killing of kids or something like that.
No.
Heat of the moment for whatever that is, right? There's some people out there who aren't sorry, and
So
they would just continue to do things, right? I mean, do you have a trail of bodies behind you? If you do, now's the time to clear your slate, right? If you've done some other things, now's the time to clean your plate, right? Now's the time. How many others are there out there? There are others out there. I can tell by looking at your face, all right? Let's talk about the other ones, right? Now, that's on your plate, right? Let's talk about the other ones, right? Because I know without a doubt now that there are other ones, all right? I can look at you, I can see it on my face, on your face, all right? You started to clean your plate. Now it's just, you know what, just be done with it once and for all. Just be done with it once and for all, that's it. Now's the time to move forward, to repent for what you did to those other ones, right? Because there's other ones, okay? Let's talk about the next one.
Do you think there's a next one?
Yes, without a doubt. I can tell, I know you now, right, that you don't like that, you're done. That's a different you. You're on the fence now about talking about the other ones, and now, you know what, you're torn behind, like, hey, we know there's other ones now, right? And then so you're torn behind like, okay, I've already told you about the other ones. What's the benefit? The benefit is it's for your soul, man. What you're trying to do is save your soul now, right? Because that's what's important right now, right? And hear your soul, right? Now's the time to clean your plate. Let's talk about the other one. Let's talk about the next one. Where's she at? Because you know she's got a mother, just like your mom loves you, just like your mom loves you, right? Somebody out there is missing someone that they love, right? Right. Your mom still has you. She knows where to see you. She knows where to find you. There's another one, right? We need to bring her home, right? You can bring her home, right? Let's talk about the next one, right? Right. Somehow there's something in there. There's a monster that gets out in you, and I don't know what is feeding that monster, but that monster has taken somebody else. You don't like who that monster is inside, right? You don't like who that is. You fucking hate him. Right? He's not your friend, he's your fucking enemy, right? Let's get rid of him, right? Let's get rid of him, right? That's where we're at. Let's talk about the other one.
I need a map.
Okay. What state?
I need a map.
Okay. A United States map
Yeah.
or an Oregon map?
The U.S. map.
Okay. I'll work on getting a map. How many?
A map.
Okay, I'll get you a map.
William will now admit to being responsible for the death of multiple other women across America. Damien then leaves the room momentarily in order to retrieve a map. Detective McNeil re-enters the room and allows William to now send 2 final text messages. Again, yet another admirable and smart gesture by the detective.
Open mind, right? Give their people there for a shake, right? So, that's really how I do, right? So, I'm going to go use the restroom. Okay. Can I get you anything? Restroom, water, McDonald's, Burger King. You don't have a lot of
Man, you want
Burger
some
King.
McDonald's? You want something to eat?
What's going to happen to my mom and my dad?
Nothing, man. Nothing's going to happen to them.
Okay.
They're still here. They're still hanging out. They're you know, this is a big deal,
And
obviously.
you saw the way my brother acted,
Yeah,
and my mom's probably in shock
right.
and
But
all that stuff.
they're doing fine. We agreed that you would keep the phone where I could see it, so I know what you're texting. What's your passcode to that phone?
0204.
0204?
Yeah.
Who are you gonna text first? Now, who is that?
That's my brother. This is the wife.
This is your wife? Okay. Before you send it, I need to read it out loud since we're in an interview room. Are you ready to send it?
Yeah.
Am going to jail for life. Am sorry. Please take care of the kids. That's all you want to say?
Yeah.
Okay. You need to call who? Or send a message to who?
Yeah.
Who?
I'm looking to my supervisor.
Okay. Why don't you just say, you know, have some legal issues that's going to tie me up for the foreseeable future.
Legal, how do you spell legal?
L-E-G-A-L.
L-E-G-A-L. I'm thinking, you know, I'm not going to be able to make it, Mark. I'm having some legal issues. I'm not going to be able to come to work until I take care of these issues.
Yeah. And that's to your boss?
Yeah.
Are you, can I get a consent form and will you do that?
I don't have an issue.
Okay. All right.
So the thing is, if I don't, then you're gonna sit there and get a court order and all that stuff, correct?
Well, I can't sit here and I believe, based on the information that you've provided about what you did and the fact that you communicated with others about the investigation using this phone, that gives me what's called probable cause to present that information to a judge to grant a search warrant. I believe that I have enough information.
Go ahead, I don't
Okay.
have an issue.
There's two ways that we can search phones. One is through a search warrant, and one is through consent. And so that's why I'm asking you now, since we're all on the same page and we're getting all this off of us. What I would like to do
Are
is,
you gonna send my mom home?
and she ate. Somebody is delivering her food right now. The order has been made, and
She's been acting okay?
Yes.
Please,
yes, yep. We are absolutely taking care of
How's
her.
my brother?
You know, he hasn't said that he wants to eat or anything. He's not, you know, being detained, but he's not going anywhere either, obviously. But food is en route for your mom, and she's okay. Okay, everybody's doing fine. Okay.
The detective makes a subtle yet coherent statement by using the words we and us when speaking about atonement and procedure of the case. The detective also notices William's main concern being his family members and continues to reassure that they are fine. Damien Acosta now re-enters the room and decides to give a riveting speech to William.
Working on some food for your mom. Jeremy, are you okay with talking to Jeremy again? He wants to give you a hug, right? I said, hey, if you...
I would love that.
Yeah, he wants to do that. I told him I'd do that for you, so we'll have to make
He
that...
was more kind of...
Yeah, he's chilled out a little bit more, right? He still loves you, right, no matter what, so... How you doing? How you doing?
I'm here.
Yeah. Right, you're asking for basically repentance, right? You want to atone, right? Atone means like, hey, this is what I did. This is what I deserve. That's called atonement, right? A blood atonement, right? That's what you want. And that's like, that tells me you're really sorry for what you did, right? The things that you did, right? So that's big, right? And so that atonement, who deals that out is the good Lord, right? And then so we know that, you know what, it's His court of justice, right? Not ours. This doesn't belong to us, right? Some people are taken from this world. I could leave this world tomorrow. I could not make it home tonight, right? That's his deal. That's not me. But hey, I know my soul is right, right? Just like, hey, you know what? The only way, hey, you make your soul right is you clean it, right? You give it, you tell it, right? And that's when you're ready, right? That's when you're right. Your mind is right, your soul is right, your heart is right. It doesn't matter. You look in the mirror, right? You know it's right, right? Right? You haven't liked the person that you see looking in the mirror, right?
For a long time.
For a
very,
long time.
very long time.
Right. And so you want to be able to atone for what you're doing and have some self-respect, right? And that's big, right? So, you know, I've talked to other people who've done, you know, things that they're not proud of and have done some horrible things, right? And they'll just fucking lie, right? I had this guy, right? It was his name was Michael Souter, right? He breaks into this old lady's, she's like 90, right? And he does this thing with her and tries to kill her, right? And he never says he's sorry. Never, 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 never. That guy's a monster, right? That guy's a monster. I'm like, hey, it is what it is. I'm like, I don't understand, right? I don't get that. I understand you, right? So.
Police leaves and re-enters the room for a final time, and the interrogation comes to a conclusion.
Look for, different things.
Okay. So Mike wants to know if you have a state ID, you have a driver's license. You got a Philippine, right, ID card, right, a driver's license he showed me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, can we see that?
I gave my wallet to my mom.
I have that number, it's a Philippine, I wrote it down, right? It's a Philippine, he produced it, I've seen it.
Okay.
It's a,
Philippine
Yes,
driver's license?
Yeah, it's Philippine driver license.
it's right here. You got a pen?
Yeah. I just need something to write with.
So, I was talking, I talked to Billy, he doesn't want to talk about the other murders because he wants to use that as leverage, so he wants to die, right? He wants that, you know, I can't make him any promises, but, you know.
On October 18, 2022, William would plead guilty to first-degree murder of Rebekah Gould. He was sentenced to 40 years in prison and is currently being housed in East Arkansas Regional State Unit. Rest in peace, Rebekah Gould.